and welcome to episode 66 of the Arctic Knitting Podcast. Welcome if you are a new viewer. I'm so glad you have decided to check out my podcast, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. I can't believe people are sticking with me and have been sticking with me since the beginning and for so long. Either way, I'm so happy to be spending some time with you. As you know, if you are a new viewer, if you are a returning viewer, of course, my name is Emilia. I am coming to you from the Arctics, hence the name Arctic Knitting Podcast. I live in Narvik, a little town with about 10,000 people in the northern part of Norway. And you can find me on Ravelry and on Instagram as Arctic Knitting, and you can find my store where I sell my hand-dyed yarn at arcticyarns.com. I also have some pattern ups on Ravelry, which you can find under, I think it's Arctic Knitting Design. It might be Emilie Bjørnar. Anyway, all of those are going to be linked down below, and feel free to check them out and follow me and hit the subscribe button if you like this podcast. Then you will get a notification, or not notification, I will turn up in your subscriptions list, and if you want notification you can hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. Quite a bit of people have subscribed to this podcast lately, which makes me so happy. It's so much fun to see that number go up, even though everyone says that it doesn't matter, and it doesn't, but still it makes me happy. We are getting close to 5,000 subscribers, and when we hit 5,000 subscribers I want to do a sort of a big giveaway. So if you are a maker of any sort and want to contribute to that giveaway, you can always shoot me a message over at Ravelry or an email. I would love to get some new prizes. A lot of the time I use prizes from the local yarn store that I work in on my hand-dyed yarn or my patterns. But if you are a pattern maker, an indie dyer, a bag maker, or a maker of any sort, and you want to contribute to that giveaway, I would be really happy to take prizes and show them on the podcast and talk about your products. And yes, I really need some prizes. Also, if you are, let's say, a bag maker and you don't want to ship things out to me, you could always give a coupon code that gives one of the viewers a free item from your store, or just a coupon code in general that I can give out to my viewers for a little discount to your store. That would be highly appreciated, and I hope that it will bring some new people to discover your store or your products or whatever you are making, your patterns. I really want to use this opportunity to show my viewers and my community and the Arctic Knitting community some other makers, and not just continue to talk about me and what I'm doing, because we're a community and it's so amazing. So yeah, there will be a giveaway when we hit 5,000 subscribers, and hit the subscribe button down below and we'll get there faster. Let's just start with what am I wearing. I am wearing this gorgeous kofta. It has sewn in sleeves. My mother-in-law made this, and I think it's called Rally Kofta. I'm going to put it on the screen down below, but it's a pattern, I believe, by Dale. I really need to check this out because I'm not completely sure. Until recently I thought it was from Kofteboken, but she told me it was not when a customer asked while she was in the store, and I said it was from that book, and it wasn't. But it is made from Sterk, from the Store Alpaca. It's a commercial yarn that we sell in the store. I think this might be Mini Sterk, which is sort of the thinner version. Sterk is being knit up at a gauge of 22 stitches, while Mini Sterk is at a gauge at 27 stitches, which is sort of the two normals. You have 22 stitches gauge is like normal Norwegian yarn, 27 stitches gauge is thin Norwegian yarn, and then you have 18 stitches, which are chunkier weight Norwegian yarn. That's basically the three most common yarn weights that we have in Norway. We don't operate with a yarn weight like fingering, DK, stuff like that. We just go out of recommended gauge for the yarn, which has its advantages but also some downsides, which I'm not going to go into here. I might do that another time. I love this kofta. Sterk is a mix of, I think it's 40% alpaca, 40% merino, and 20% nylon. So it's a gorgeous sock yarn. The only negative thing is that on me it pills quite a bit. You see. But it's still so warm and soft, and I should just get these pills away. But I am using this a lot, especially now that it's quite cold. We have -10 degrees and alpaca is super warm, and you really need super warm when you are living in the Arctic in the winter. Since we're talking about living in the Arctic, the sun is about to come back. I'm so happy. I have seen sunlight. I haven't felt the sun on my skin because the sun hasn't reached the city yet, but I have seen the sun shining on the mountaintops, and I'm so thrilled about getting the sun back. And I put up a story on Instagram the other day saying that if everyone could just please stop talking about the sun, because it makes me sad. It really doesn't. It's not that bad. And I got a lot of messages from people saying, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I don't think I could survive. Really, it's not that bad. We call it the polar night in Norway. In Norway we call it mørketid, which basically means dark time, or the dark times. It sounds so. But really, mørketid or the polar night, it isn't black. People who hasn't experienced it mostly think that everything is just pitch black. It isn't. It's just that the sun isn't above the horizon. So if you have the horizon here, a lot of the time the sun just goes a little bit above, or when we call it mørketid, it's below the horizon, but still it goes up to the horizon and down again, and in various degrees after how long into the dark time we are. So basically, no, we don't have any sunlight, but we have that beautiful colorful sky that you get when the sun is just below the horizon. If you live in a place where you don't have, which most of you probably do, if you live in a place where you don't have the polar night, you probably will have seen anyway when the sunset or sun come up, so the sun comes, I don't know the words, when the sun comes up, just before it goes up, they're beautiful. You get pink, orangey skies, and it just goes from pink or bright pink into darker pink into purple and into dark blue in the night, and it's gorgeous. But after a couple of months I want to feel the sun on my skin. Anyway, we are not here to talk about the sun. This is not a podcast about the sun. This is a podcast about knitting, and I have already talked about this. And I wanted to mention one more thing, but I have no idea what that was. Yeah, this should have gone in the admin. A little bit all over the place. It's been a while since I podcasted last, but yeah, I'm trying to work out a new schedule so that I can podcast instead of podcasting on Wednesdays, which I have tried to do for a while. I will try to make a podcast on Friday to put up on Monday, so that if I don't get it done on Friday, I can always do it over the weekend or on Monday morning, just to give myself some slack, because like this week I was going to record on Wednesday and then my car had to go into the dealership, and oh, little bit all over the place. I have breads in the oven, so I'm going to go take them and then I'll be back. There, I just got 4 breads out of the oven and 4 new in there, so homemade bread for next week. So I'm going to try to do it on Friday so that it will be up on Monday instead. And then I have started a new series which you might have seen. It just came out, the first installment came out this Friday. I'm calling them minisodes. They are going to be small but relevant. It's not going to be like a lot of vlogs. There might be vlogs as well, but it's going to be when I have something to talk about. Like this first minisode was my first spin on a wheel, because I recently got a spinning wheel. So that was about that. And my next minisode is going to be about felting these mittens that I showed you in the last episode. This is just a pair of mittens that are made from Sunny's Fitted Yarn, which is a bulky weight wool yarn, and you can see they are really big. And that's because I'm going to felt them in the washing machine. So there will be a minisode up about how I felt stuff in the washing machine, because lots of you seems to be interested in that. So I'm going to see if I can do that today. I just haven't, we've had so much laundry, I just haven't had time to get around to that, but that will probably be the next one. I'm also planning on doing a tour of the local yarn store that I work in. But these minisodes, I'm not going to say that they are going to come up very often or even regularly at given times. They are going to come up whenever I have something I want to talk about. So if you have any suggestions or wishes for what I could make minisodes about, put them down below. That would make me really happy, because I want to make like smaller videos that are not going to be 30 or 40 minutes or 50 minutes even. Just the first one was 3 minutes, and this one is probably about felting is probably going to be more like 5 to 10 minutes, but just small, because I'm not going to do a tutorial because I don't have the equipment or the time or the knowledge on how to do that. So I'm just going to make a video how I do that. I might also do something about my stash or my books, my favorite books. I have 14 more books coming in this week because I apparently love buying used knitting books. So that's the next one coming up. I just wanted to mention, because lots of you told me after the last episode that you really wanted to have to see more about how I do felting in the washing machine and how I felt my mittens. So that's one coming up. So let's just move into finished objects. I have one, and it's not even here. That's great for podcasting. In the yarn store, a local yarn store here in Narvik, which I work in, we have quite a bit of Dale Freestyle, which is a yarn that is discontinued. We have had it since I began working there in January, and it doesn't sell. There's nothing wrong with the yarn, it's just it sold well while it was being produced, but now it just stopped. Even though it's half the price, it just stopped. So we wanted to make up a sample to have in the store, and I said, hey, let's make an OSLO anorak. I'm going to pop up a picture here of the one that I made, and I made this in size 2 till 4 years old. I really wanted to make it in blues, but because this is a discontinued yarn, I had to make do with what we have, so I made it in pink and brown, and I might gift it to someone, or I might just let it hang in the yarn store until it sells. I've been wanting to make an OSLO anorak for quite a while, so it was a good opportunity to do that. And I love the style of this. I kind of want to make something similar for myself. It has a big hood and it has garter stitch, like top part. It's a raglan sweater that has buttons in the raglan, and it has garter stitch on the top, and then it's just stockinette and garter stitch at the bottom. It's a pattern from Pickles, which I'm going to link to down here, of course. And also it's going to be linked in the Ravelry project page, and it's a gorgeous pattern and in so many variations. If you go over to Instagram and you search for the hashtag OSLO anorak, then you can see lots of variation, because you have this big part of stockinette. You could always, lots of people have put in the Marius pattern in here. You could play around with other charts, you can do some cables, it's so much fun stuff to do with that. And I love the combination of garter stitch in the top, and instead of rib you have garter stitch around the sleeves and the bottom and the stockinette. I just think that garter stitch with stockinette in between looks absolutely gorgeous. And now, while I'm sitting here talking about that, I have design ideas coming up in my head. I'm so over-inspired these days. I just want to cast on everything and not finish anything, but I'm trying to not cast on everything, because we will have to buy a bigger house if I'm going to continue to cast on everything, because I don't have anywhere to put all my whips at the moment. And I don't think Sondre would be very happy if I told him that we need to buy a bigger house, because I have been casting on so many projects and buying so much yarn, because lots of the projects that I want to cast on are projects that I could make as store samples, but that means bringing the yarn home. And also I'm trying to work a little bit from stash, just because, yeah, I don't really know why. I don't really care. I like having stash, but yeah, the inspiration is just overwhelming at the moment. And the other thing is a lot of OSLO going on. This is the OSLO anorak, and also I have finished a OSLO hat by Petit Knit, and I couldn't find it when I was starting to record. I don't think it's here. I think I might have left it at work, because I have been taking the bus to work, and then some days Sondre has picked me up. So I think I might have left it at work, so I'm not going to be able to show you that. But it's a gorgeous simple hat, which is really warm. I used it at the cabin this weekend. We were at the cabin and it was minus 22 degrees, and this one kept my ears warm, even though it's super washed out. So I'm going to show you the work in progress that I have, which is also a OSLO hat. This is a project bag that I bought at Trollkar. It's a shop in Haugesund. We stopped by there after we had been to Bergen Knitting Festival. Also, they were at Trollkarl, and I don't remember the name of the lady working with them. They were at Bergen Knitting Festival, and I was eyeballing this bag because it's just really my style. And I didn't buy it, and then we went to Haugesund and they had brought it back to the store, so I bought it down. But I am making another Oslo hat, and this one I'm making out of Klumpelumpe Tynn Merino, which is a thin merino yarn that is from Sandnes. It has it's meant to be knit up. It isn't meant to be knit up. It's suggested that you knit it up at a 27 gauge and that you use 3mm needles to start your swatches. That's the way I like to put it. Because on the Norwegian yarn it says 3mm and it says 27 stitches per 10 cm. That doesn't mean that you will get 27 stitches if you use 3mm needles. So the way I like to explain that is that Sandnes should suggest that you knit this up at a 27 stitch gauge and that you use a 3mm needle for your first swatch. The hat is knit with yarn held double and 3.5mm needles, and I think the gauge is 22 stitches. But it's a quite dense fabric, which is gorgeous for a hat because it just keeps it warm. This is just a single layer. So you can see there's very little light coming through here. And what you do with this hat, this one is going to be for Sondre, and let's see if I can draw this down. Basically, you are knitting until a given amount of centimeters, which I won't go away, and anyway I don't remember it, but I really recommend this pattern. And then you are folding it up on itself, start knitting the other way so that you are getting the hat coming up here. So it's kind of hard to explain, but basically you get 3 layers of fabric, it's a brimmed hat, and you get 3 layers of fabric just around your ear. Which is absolutely amazing if you live in a place where you have minus 22 degrees, because it keeps your ears warm, and that's really the most important. I love how this is knitting up. The first one was knit in Arvetta, which is the yarn that is originally used but is not available in my hometown. And I have also bought this leather thing that is going to be in front, like a leather patch that says "Ut på tur, aldri sur." Which basically means something that, like, when you're hiking, you are not grumpy. And ut på tur, aldri sur is... when you're hiking, you are not grumpy, it doesn't sound as cool. It sounds better in Norwegian. I don't know how to translate it. Yeah. But these are leather patches that we have in the store that I work in. We have recently gotten them. So I am using this yarn and this patch from the store, and I really wanted to use stuff that we have in the store that I work in, so that when I take photos of it, I can share it at the store website or at the store. I have an Instagram account that I run for the store, and we also have a Facebook page, so I can share it there for inspiration, just because I really want to do that. I want to get that Instagram account up and running, and I want to make it a place where we have inspirations and not just this is what's new in the shop. We have got new products, we have it's not called a coupon code, we have an offer, 30% off the whole week. I don't want it to be just information about the store, I want it to be inspiration. So I wanted to make this out of stuff from my store, which isn't my store, it just feels like that, and that's good for when you're working somewhere and it feels like your store. And yeah, this one is going to be for Sondre. The color is so showing up quite accurate. It's sort of a dark, dusty military green. And yeah, lots of these colors are going around in the store at the moment. There's lots of dusty colors. Muted colors. It's called muted colors in English. So that is my #1 work in progress. This is the one that I have in my backpack that I bring to work, or if I'm going somewhere where I'm going to be around people. I'm trying to work at just a couple of projects at a time now, so that I can finish off some stuff. Because I have lots of things that I really want to have finished. And the next one is also a thing that I want to have finished. And I would knit on this all the time if it was suitable for doing that. It is from this book. It's called Lille Bolle. It's by my friend Strikkesilla, or Tina, which is what she's really called. And I just have to say, go over, check her out on Instagram. I'm going to link her down below. Also check out the patterns on Ravelry. This is one of the most inspiring designers for me at the moment. Let me see if I can just pop up. I'm just going to, that's it, 126 is per hour. I'm just going to do like this. Just stop there. Oh, that's the one I'm knitting. This is the one that I'm knitting. It's a Starry Pants, and I'm knitting those for Ludwig. But the point is that if I do like this and I just stop at any page, there you have one piece for the bunad. It's gorgeous. I can do it like this. I can set the glass all day. I could just a gorgeous vest. I want to knit everything out of this book. There's just so many gorgeous things in here. I think I want to make that as well. And of course she also has, let's see, this set. I'm going to make that for a little friend of mine who is going to be 1 year. I'm going to give him that because his mother really wanted that. Ludwig has this cowl. And I want to make this for one of my friends' kids because it's just gorgeous. And this pattern is also available as a whole bodysuit for kids and as a sweater, and it's as a sweater for adults, and hats and cowls and cardigans. It's just so many variation of where she has used that chart, and it's a big series of patterns and it's gorgeous. So check her out, check out Strikkesilla. And if you don't want to knit, there's a lot of patterns for kids in these books. She also has one called Little Tulla, which is for girls. And all of her patterns are up on Ravelry, at least I think so. But if you are not going to knit anything for kids, just go there and check them out because she has so many amazing photos. She's also a photographer, and I wish I had just half of her skills when it comes to taking photos because, whoa, that woman is amazing. Anyway, I said that she was my friend, but I might just be stalking her a little bit. I'm making the pants that I showed you, the Starry Pants, and this is so far gotten. It's made top down, and this is the front. So you can see, I think you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but it's longer in the back. So it starts with folded hem, so I have holes here which I'm going to put in a long I-cord and make a bow in the front because Ludwig really wanted a bow. And also it just, using this kind of thing instead of a rib, it just makes it look even prettier. And there are quite a bit of short rows in the back, not quite a bit, there's a little bit of short rows going on in the back. And making short rows in pattern, that was a treat. I had so much fun doing it, but it's sort of, I didn't like purling in pattern. So it was sort of like I had to sit down and not watch a podcast and just concentrate on knitting, and it was so much fun doing that again. It's been so long since I did that. And this is not the kind of pattern that I can bring along out with me because it's just too much. The chart is just too big, and it's getting kind of intuitive. I can kind of know what I'm supposed to do now, but I still have to refer to the book. So this is not an out and about knit, and it's sort of the knit that you have to concentrate about. But I don't want every knitting that I make to be just garter stitch or stockinette stitch in the round. I want to do something that I really have to focus on every now and then, because that just really like sort of brings me into my knitting. I like a challenge. I know that I can do it if I do it one stitch at a time, and I really like to every now and then just turn off the podcast, turn off the TV, turn off the music. And I think I forgot to set the timer when I put in the bread. Oops, this is going to be a messy episode. Anyway, I was saying that I really enjoy making patterns every now and then that I really have to focus on, because it really, to just sit there and knit and just focus on my knitting and the stitches, and it's so enjoyable to do that. And it's been such a long time. In the beginning when I started knitting, I of course did that a lot, but these days lots of things just goes easy. How to say this without sounding like an a-hole? Lots of things is just easy, and I really enjoy this. It's not challenging, it's not hard, it's just something that I need to focus on. And I can't wait for this to be finished, and Ludwig is going to be so cute. So this is the star that is going to be in the back. Just started it here. I am knitting this out of Sandnes Pergunt, which is 100% Norwegian wool yarn. It's sort of a DK weight. I'm knitting it on 3.5mm needles. Yeah, most of the Norwegian yarns are worsted spun where the fiber isn't aligned. This one is woolen spun, which makes it. I didn't realize that until recently. I was talking with someone because it's just so much softer than other Norwegian yarn. It kind of feels, I don't want to say super washy, but when I first started working with this yarn, I was like, are you sure this isn't treated in any kind? Because it's just so much softer than the other Norwegian yarn. It's, yeah, so it's a gorgeous yarn that I really enjoy working with. And this color, it looks brighter. It's a really muted blue. So that's all I have to show you for works in progress this time. And I have another one that is basically a finished object that I'm not going to show you right now because it is a design. But there is a pattern coming out quite soon. I have been working it up in Fritidsgarn because that's what I had on hand, and I have been dyeing. Now we are moving into like business stuff. I have been dyeing up 3 skeins, which are also, they look brighter on screen than they are. This is Troll. It's a new yarn that I'm going to put up in my store. I haven't, you can see this is quite a bulky weight. I haven't been dyeing on this before. I just dyed it this week. A little bit of white under the tie, I think. But this one is just going to be for me to knit samples because I have, it's so soft. It's 100% Norwegian wool. It's from Hillesvåg. They are the supplier I normally use. And if I take this one, I have the ties in it still. But it's gorgeous and it's feltable. And I have a little bit of it in stock. So I'm going to dye that up, and when I release the pattern that I have already knit up, I have another one that I haven't knit up, but it's finished. I just knit it. And both of them are going to use this yarn. So when I put out the pattern, there is also going to be yarn available in the store. I'm not sure when that is going to be because I need to knit it up. I also need to dye the yarn, and I have sort of a plan, but I'm not going to put it out there because I'm just going to beat myself up when everything goes straight to hell, because it does every single time I have a plan. Ludwig gets sick, I get sick, my dad comes and borrows my burners, which he did this week. I have to work a day extra in the yarn store because someone else gets sick. Car has to go into the dealership, you know, stuff like that. So I'm not going to put up the date, but it's going to be quite soon. And both of these are new colorways, and this is my colorway Snowman, which is just, it's a very light gray, but it's more like, I like to describe it as a cool white instead of a warm white, which is what natural wool is. Natural wool is kind of yellowish, but this one is just toned down with gray to be a cold white. So these 3 are for samples. But there is going to be, I'm going to start knitting on them quite soon. And there's going to be a new pattern coming up. And I'm so excited. And also, at the same time that I picked up that one, I'm going to have my next shop update, which I'm not going to announce quite yet because I really need to find the time. There is yarn in my stores. If you want, you can go on over there to check it out. But next time, I'm also going to put up some Miniskeins surprise packs. Yes. Where you can buy a Miniskein of 10 or 20 grams, and I will send you a Miniskein of the base that you choose, in the weight that you choose, with the colorway name, or some of them don't have colorway names. It's just yeah, I have a bit of Miniskeins laying around and I don't want to list every one of them separated, so I'm just going to make like Miniskein surprise packs. That might be a good way to try out some new yarns. And if you're buying, let's say, a full skein and a mini skein that you want to use for pattern, just put that in the note and I will try to make the colors coordinate. And if you want to have a lot of blues in your mini skeins, I'm going to try to make that happen. So you could just put your wishes in the comment box, and I'm going to talk more about this later, but because it's not up there yet, I just wanted to mention that there are going to be mini skein surprise packs coming up in the store. The last thing that I have that I want to mention is collaborations, because I have a couple of fun collaborations with other dyers and designers coming up. They are secret. It's not been set in stone that it's going to be happen. I have just been talking with a few of my dyeing friends about collaboration, and we have some really fun ideas that I haven't seen them go around in the dye world before. So I feel like we might be coming up with something new. But I would love to do more collaborations, so if you have an idea for a collaboration, feel free to shoot me a message. I would really love to do collaborations. If you are a designer that wants to design with me on, or if you're a bag maker, we could make some kits. It's stuff like that. I really want to collaborate more in 2019 than I have done before. So I think that's it. I'm just going to end this podcast here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, please hit the subscribe button so that we can reach 5,000 and have a big fun giveaway. And if no one wants to contribute, I'm going to put the prizes together myself. And yeah, I think that's it for now. I will see you again hopefully in a week, as I say every time. Bye. It was really nice talking with you again. I hope you have a wonderful, I hope you have had a wonderful weekend, and that you will have a wonderful I hope that you will have a wonderful week.